guys, I am Chris Kaler.
And I'm Amber Foster, Kajin Cosplay, and today we are back again to guys with Zero, Episode 9, Season 2.
Bunnies are evil in this show. They eat people alive. Yeah. Fuck. So yeah, Subaru, we thought Subaru's trauma couldn't get any higher, but we were wrong. This was probably his worst death yet.
So unnecessary.
Well, we don't know. Not unnecessary.
No,
we don't know
with
how.
other people, it was like enemies, like that we knew that we had to defeat in the future, but that just per gore and per torture for no reason.
For now, for no reason, because we don't know why he got there, how he ended up there. Well, the crystal took him there, but is that in the future? I'm guessing maybe. If it's the future, it's not a bright future. It's horrible, and it's something that needs to be stopped. Subaru is going through that trauma after fighting Garfield, which ended up in a disaster, and a lot of people died still. He went back in time, freaking out, and then, surprise, surprise, Echidna knows about him going back in time whenever he dies, so he finally could say it, and that's a relief. Yeah. And now he's crying, and he's just enjoying the fact that he could say to someone that he's been going through hell.
After
finally.
1 season, almost and a half.
And it came from a witch. It came from a witch. That's saying a lot.
Oh, she's a nice witch.
Yes, she is. She was a support in that moment. So that was needed. So we're just gonna jump into this episode and see what happens after all this mess.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can do something right this time.
Please.
Let's go. Yes, the cats are freaking out in the background. You probably can hear them run around like crazy. We can't stop them. They are free.
Oh no.
Okay.
They are handheld bunnies.
Fuck, I don't trust this guy, but at the same time, he seems to genuinely be on Subaru's side.
He did try to make a mistake next time, so I'm pretty sure that he knows that Subaru can go back from that.
For sure. How though? How? I know, his family kind of worships Echidna, and she knows, but, I don't think he can have contact with her or anything, so, why does he know all this shit? Even if he's an ally to Subaru, the fact that he knows so much and yet never actually does anything,
it's suspicious and it's not look in a good way.
You can be an ally, but even if you're an ally, if you do, the shit you're doing, and it leads to people's deaths or suffering, I can't support this. So we need answers from this guy. Why did she show up?
Satella seemed to go towards Roswaal Mansion at the end. Do you think that she's gonna go after people that Subaru loves, that she'd be the only one in his heart?
Well,
even though she's not in his heart?
First of all, I think that yes, even if she showed up, she loves Subaru and stuff, and she's going towards the mansion, there's a good chance that she's going after the people he cares about to get rid of them. Mm-hmm. I was wondering, in that case, why is she not going after Emilia? But then I looked at her closely, and I think she is Emilia. I think Satella is taking over Emilia's body, because I think she had the same color from the costume under the cape and stuff.
And why Emilia wasn't beside Subaru.
Well, yeah, the body's not there, so I think that this is Emilia overtaken by Satella. I wonder why there's been theories, we've talked about this before, about Emilia literally being the witch of envy. She is Satella, it's just that she's Satella reborn or something, I don't know, but she is her twin, she is exactly like her, she reminds people of her. And it would make sense that she's connected to her in some way. So yeah, that's not too far-fetched to imagine that Satella could overtake her body. That would also kind of explain in a very weird and twisted way why there's so much attraction between Subaru and Emilia. He's in love with Emilia so much, but we can't really explain that attraction. And there's a lot of a lot of people are saying that he's linked to Satella somehow, and she's in love with him a lot. So I mean, this is. But in that case, getting rid of Satella would mean getting rid of Emilia, and I'm like, no, I don't want that to happen. And I wonder if the reason why this is happening is because he was not there to wake her up.
Maybe.
When she was going through all her struggle in the trial. Because it's the only thing that's a bit different is that he's the one that woke up later. He's the one that woke up second instead of first. So if that's the only thing that changed, well, in that case, that's the reason why this is happening. Emilia is being overtaken by, I'm guessing, by Satella.
When she's when she's going through a panic attack, she's being overtaken by Satella?
Well, I mean, if Satella is somehow linked to Emilia, like if her conscience is in there somewhere and it's just not in control and stuff, going through trauma could definitely start something like this. If you think about it, when she has to face her past and it's something that she can't face. She keeps saying it's not her, it's not her. Like she wants to dissociate herself with who she is and who she is seen as. So a huge trauma and huge emotions and stuff, and complete dissociation with who she is could lead to her hiding inside herself and not wanting to get out and face the hard facts. It's like she's got no one. She feels she's got no one to support her, no one to help her go through this. So if she has no one, and no one is there to wake her up, and no one is there to support her, like Puck or Subaru, and both of them were not there, she could be hiding, or she could have become weak enough for Satella to overtake her. In my opinion, that's the only thing that happened that could lead to this. Him not being there for her when she went through the trial. But at the same time, like, she went through it later on, so... And those times, like, Satella didn't show up, so... Yeah, why?
Maybe...
Because she knew what to expect the next time, maybe?
Maybe so. Or it was maybe the fact that maybe Emilia's mind was maybe just weak at the moment, and she just took the opportunity to just take over,
Because, I mean, Satella also knows what's going on. It could be that since she sensed that Subaru had a connection with another witch and stuff, she showed up because she's jealous. Like, I don't know. But she's definitely creepy. Oh, that's the thing. She is very creepy. Her and Gluttony is also very creepy. Which, by the way, Gluttony has a very interesting way of representing her sin. It's crazy. It makes a lot of sense, but
it makes sense. But it's not a sense that I'm going to.
Well, I mean, it's not something that we considering we live in a society and we are the species hunter that hunt, we don't agree with this, because if we started if we were okay with pigs and sheeps and whatever hunting us to kill us, that'd be crazy, that'd be fucking disturbing. But Gluttony is basically just driven by the instinct of we need to eat to survive. So the act of survival, eating and just not necessarily eating food, but just the act of getting sustenance.
And in a way, she was kind of right. The whale was big enough to feed many people. The bunnies are in a huge numbers enough to feed many people. It's just that they're creeping freaky and they're eating people.
But
the people disappeared.
Her morality is not, she doesn't put one species above the other. So yeah, that would definitely, if you have someone neutral when it comes to species, create beasts like this, and she'd be like, well, I'm giving you something to basically end world hunger, but then that'd be mean to let that creature not be affected by hunger either, so I'm gonna give that beast the drive to hunt you down.
I wouldn't say that she put them at equal, because the big whale was kind of very strong, the bunnies are very strong.
Well, for a bunny, a human would be impossible to kill. For a deer, a human would be difficult to kill, but not impossible. If you're a human alone, killing a tiger would be impossible if you don't have the weapons necessary, we made up our own weapons to kill these things, but not all animals are, easy to kill.
No,
so that whale not being easy to kill is not, putting that whale above us. It's just giving it the drive.
Monstrously, beastly, freakishly strong.
They are strong, but that's the twisted side of gluttony, I guess. But there is a way to kill them. Like she said, she also believes in survival. Killing is part of survival, and that's what's driven by, gluttony, basically. That's what happens when you...
It's not that she was not above telling Subaru how to defeat the bunny, so that's nice.
But he needs to kill them to survive. And that's, like I said, survival is directly linked to gluttony. You eat to survive. So basically, her name is gluttony, but survival really is the emotion and the instinct that she represents. So that'd be kind of mean for her to not tell anyone, how to defeat her beasts, because in that case she's kind of robbing them of the chance to survive. So it was interesting.
What do you think about the other witches? The Witch of Pride and the Witch of Wrath.
Wrath is weird. It's crazy because she's driven by, well, it's not crazy. It actually makes sense. She's driven by her heart. It's her heart is pushing
passion,
her. Passion and anger. And actually, we say sometimes when we watch TV shows and stuff, you wouldn't be disaffected if you didn't love that person, or if you didn't, if it didn't bother you. I think last time we said it was in The Boys, but if someone doesn't care about you, there's no need for wrath. You need to truly be emotionally involved to be truly angry. True anger only appears when you
cared about something enough to be angry for it.
Well, when you love something enough to want to defend it, or when something is affected that you love. Love and wrath go hand in hand. So
love and hate go hand in hand.
Well, wrath is the anger that follows. It's the need to get revenge. It's the need to go after. It's something that doesn't make you forget easily. Yeah. So I think it all goes hand in hand. You need to love passionately enough to, be affected enough to get to wrath.
And the vicious circle of love.
Yeah.
Basically.
But, in that case, she got really affected by Subaru getting hurt, so, that's the thing, Ikina saying that Subaru has a thing for charming witches, and, he doesn't even have to try!
You just have to be in pain, smile, be cocky.
But it could mean,
basically anything.
It could be, that he got, Gluttony was saying that he smells delicious, that she really wants to eat him. It could be the witch's scent. It could just be that Subaru's scent is also what, got Satella to like him.
You know what? I think not. I think, okay, for the Witch of Gluttony, his scent was delicious. I don't know exactly for what reason. For the Witch of Wrath, she's driven by her passion, by her love. Who loves more than Subaru? Subaru is the person of love,
but she seemed to love him.
Of love.
She seemed to love him.
But maybe she's attractive by the passion and the love that he has for Emilia and for Rem.
Yeah, but
he's driven by his love for her and it's because of his love for Emilia and Rem that he's doing so many sacrifices. So maybe that's why she was so attracted to Subaru and she was so.
Well, see it that way. I just think that he didn't show
her and decided she had to help him.
I just think he didn't show that when she was there to get that emotion out of her. It's not like she's been. We don't know. They have not been watching him. Maybe
I think that maybe there is something in Subaru that appealed to each and every one of the witches.
Well, there is something in Subaru. Satella is attracted by him, and like I said, he's got her scent, and he's definitely linked to her in some kind of way, and there is a reason why she's after him this much. So maybe that's the same thing that gets all witches to like him in the end. So they just like him in their own way because, because gluttony is all about eating and survival and sustenance. She says she wants to eat him and stuff. When it comes to wrath, if something happens to him, she gets madly, angry at whoever did the hurt, but then she punches him to put him back together. She shares her wrath.
It's called
with
tough love.
Yeah. As for Pride was the most interesting to me and I wanted to talk about the link between Subaru and Pride, because in season 1 a lot of people were mentioning that Subaru could be Pride.
Oh yeah.
Considering what she said to him about him thinking he was a sinner, yet at the same time being a good person, made me think that, gosh, that's exactly why he could have been Pride. Because in the first season, he could not admit that he had, issues and stuff, but deep down he hated himself.
Yeah.
And basically his pride to not show, that he had, made mistakes and to not show his weakness, that's what pushed him constantly to do things. And now, because he's a good person and because he's suffered so much and he's failed so much, he is coming to, he's realizing that he's made mistakes, he's not perfect, but it's turned into self-hatred. He pushes himself down so much, even though he's a good person. So it's crazy because his emotions are all over the place, and I thought that Pride reading into him this much was perfect because he's the only one that he's the only one that can actually hurt himself. Mm-hmm. When Pride is there, she was like, oh, you don't feel pain and stuff, that's because you're a good person. But then you're shattering because you hate yourself, even though you're a good person. So that comes with Pride. And in the first season, it's like he had too much pride, so he had to do everything in order to follow that pride and not show weakness. And now it's like he was stripped of it completely. So yes, pride is still there, but he tries to push it away so much that he destroys himself. Because you need pride to have here and there, You actually need a little bit of all.
To be prideful is not...
No, to be too prideful is bad.
To be prideful is not a bad thing, but it's to be too prideful that's going to be...
Like I said, you need a little bit of every sin to be human. To be prideful in a way kind of gives you self-confidence. It gives you the strength to keep going when things go rough, and it helps you not, kill yourself with grief and guilt when something goes wrong. I feel that Subaru is the only one hurting himself because whenever he fails, yes, he pushes through, but not for himself anymore. He pushes through for others as he thinks, though, I'm the messed up guy. It's just that now he's accepted it so much that it's just common sense, He doesn't fall down, punching himself over for the mistakes he's done, but he keeps, going directly to the explanation. Oh, I messed up because I'm a screw up, because I'm a fuck up. That's not true, and that's not healthy at all. But yeah, like I said, he's the only one destroying himself. Yeah. It's just really sad. We saw him go from one extreme to the other. I don't know if any of what I just said made any sense because I was just rambling.
It made sense to me.
It made me just having Pride there read into Subaru so easily and have him, have her basically destroy him physically over something that he's feeling inside. Just put in, it showed us visually what we've been discussing about, when we talk about his mentality and how he feels. So it was the most interesting conversation out of, all the conversations in this episode. Yeah. But yeah, I thought it was cool. Like I said, Subaru is a good character to discuss.
I really wonder, though, what is driving the Witch of Envy. Because we kind of figure about Witch of Pride, Witch of Greed, gluttony, and even wrath.
Well, envy is kind of jealousy. It's wanting something that you don't have. In that case, if you think about it, Emilia could really, really represent that sin. If she, let it consume her, that would be bad. But she desperately, she lusts after a life that she doesn't have. She doesn't want to. Basically, envy is not liking what you are, not liking what you have, and wanting what others are and what others have. So yes, Emilia could definitely fall into that pit if she was, if she was not careful, because of the life that she's had. Even Subaru at a certain point could represent envy. I don't know how, like I said, this show, though, represents the sins the way they want to represent sin. I've never imagined gluttony in this light. So it's, but I thought it was really interesting. So Satella could actually, she could represent envy in a completely different way. It's just that we never really thought of it. Yeah. Sloth is usually the one that I have the most difficulty representing. People always come up with very interesting ways of representing sloth. And I'm like, wow, for me, sloth is just sleeping all day. like for sloth has always been the one I've always had difficulties imagining, but at the same time, the other sins are usually the ones that everyone interpret in the same exact way, so they kind of lack originality.
I think the one that I can maybe think about in the most easy way will be wrath. When I think about wrath, it's just like this anger and this fire inside yourself that you cannot just control. It's just overtaking you. So that's easy for me to think about wrath. But for envy or for sloth, it's just
lust is also easy to imagine. Lust and pride. Pride is very close to humans in general, and pride is the sin that I think would fit most people. So pride is pretty good. Envy isn't that hard to imagine. It's just I would expect them to interpret it in a different way or in an original way compared to what we're used to. So they could surprise us with envy, but we'll see. Like we need to actually see Satella for this. So I mean, it's not from what we've seen. She desperately wants Subaru, which is someone she can't have. The act of envy is to want something that you don't have. So she's going after Subaru and making him come back even though his fate is to die because she can't have him. If he dies, she can't have him. So it's kind of like she's going against her own sin because of her sin. It's a bit weird.
No, she's going with her sin because she wants Subaru. She doesn't want him to die.
No, but that's, like I said, envy is wanting something that you don't have. So if his faith is to die, and if he actually died, she would not have him. So her sin is pushing her to want to keep Subaru even though he's dead. So because she wants him and he's dead, she gives him a power that makes him come back. It's completely selfish. It's completely, like Creepiness said, it's completely for Subaru, because of Subaru. It's just Subaru, and she doesn't give a shit about anyone else. And that's one thing. If we did not know that Satella was the one to give him this power, we could assume that it's either someone who wants Subaru, like Roswaal is saying, to never make any mistake and to do things right to save everyone, or it's someone that desperately wants to make him suffer. But it's not that at all. It's someone. It came from someone who doesn't care about what Subaru thinks or feels, nor cares about people surrounding Subaru.
It's just about him and the fact that that person wants him to be there, be alive, and survive, no matter the consequence, no matter everything.
And she wants him. That's all. She wants him, so she'll keep bringing him back as long as she's after him, basically. So yeah, suffering has no ending as long as she loves him.
Please don't stop loving him. Yeah, but it was a little bit creepy though that she kept repeating over and over again that I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you.
Well, that's the thing. It gets obsessive, and it's in French we say malsain. So
not
healthy. Yeah, unhealthy. Yeah.
Unhealthy. Yeah.
So it's not a good thing. At the same time, we were saying in season 1, Subaru's love for Emilia wasn't healthy there either. So it's a selfish kind of love that makes you do stuff that you regret later, although Satella doesn't regret anything. She's just going for it. Anyway, I want to see how they manage to defeat this, and I want to see if my theory that this is Emilia actually is true. So, unless you have something else to talk about, we'll move on. Thank you guys so much for watching this with us. If you want to see the next episode right away, it is on Patreon, or it will be very soon. You can check out the link in the description.
Yep, and if you don't, look for the next one to be up on YouTube, which will be next week. Yes. So we're gonna see you then, guys.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.